Alright guys, today I'm going to bring you a 3-game series against Nprawdzik, or Nathaniel Prawdzik if you follow him on YouTube. I've been playing this guy for a long time. He's one of my arch nemesis, one of the only players who can consistently beat me, has a high winning percentage against me. A lot of my games that you'll see aren't very good. They're kind of blowouts. And if they're David and Goliath tale, I am Goliath and they are David. But when I play this guy, I will tell you the roles are reversed. I got to play 3 games against him today. And the first one I'm going to show you, since you can see the results already, he completely blows me out of the water here. I do not have a chance. So we're going to go through that game real quick. If it loads it up, please. So, we're pretty much boned from the word go. This isn't really much of a game, so it felt more like a 2-game series. But I'll show you the hands I got here that led to my demise. 0 lands. Obviously a mole. I will mole. 1 land. Now this land was semi-keepable in that I have a mana drain up. I could get Seal. If I top decked a UC or a fetch land, I might be alright. But against this guy, this hand really has no chance. And really, mulling at this point, I'm pretty sure I've lost. 0 lands again. Keep the hand with a ponder and a mana drain. But I'm really stretching here. He's first to play. He opens with the top. I get a Limdol's Vault. I ponder and see all islands. I have no way to do anything with that hand. Even though I make land drops, we're really doing absolutely nothing. I can't even play the Limdol's Vault. So I shuffle it away, and we hit a Chain of Vapor. And I am pretty much screwed here. I'll give it one more top deck. But against this guy, if I don't top a land here, the game is over. That's Necro, completely useless. And I think I just scoop it up at this point, because there's no way I'm going to beat this guy with this hand. He's just too good. So, game 1, Goliath. Now, I immediately re-challenge him, because that was not a game. Now, this time, he still gets to play first, but our hand is much better. We've got a wheel, we've got a ritual, we've got a card advantage, and we have a Pyroblast, and he plays quite a few counter spells. He told me after the game he'd actually cut a couple of his counter spells, and his deck's a little weaker to combo than it used to be, and he's going to be making some changes for me the next time. And this will not be the last time I play this guy, and it will definitely not be the last time he beats me like the game before, but this game is pretty good. So, he opens first. Island. No Soul Ring, nothing big. I like seeing that. His hand is probably not spectacular, though he did keep a full hand, if you can see. So his hand has got to be at least decent. So how do I lead off against him? I'm going to lead off with my Steam Vents here. I'm not going to attempt to Ritual Wheel against a Counterspell dense deck without that Pyroblast up, so I kind of need to wait here. He follows up with Strip Mine. Ugh. Absolutely horrible for me. I really don't like when he denies my mana. I know the Strip Mine is coming. I don't know if he's going to play it right away. He in fact doesn't. He goes straight into Kalani Gem, which bounces both of his lands. So he still represents Counterspell mana here. So I'm still too afraid to wheel out. Though it would be nice to wheel that Strip Mine away. He plays way too many counterspells. Though he did reduce it, I did not know at this point. I am just deathly afraid that if I try to cast my wheel here, I could end up completely boned. As you see, I got Notion Thief here for my combo, and against most players, I would use this to try to win. But against him, I don't think I'm going to have the time. I don't think I'm going to have the mana. I just need to wheel out faster, because this hand's not going to do it against him. I'm expecting Strip Mine here, so I didn't crack my fetch. I don't want to lose the black source. I'm going to make him strip my Steam Vents. He indeed does. So I'm going to respond by tapping it, cracking my Scalding Tarn here to use my Limdol's Vault. And the card I'm going to grab is Mana Crypt. So I'm going to dig for Mana Crypt. I need to keep up with him on mana. I need that Mana Crypt. Show me the Mana Crypt. Okay. He goes into Trinket Mage. Probably Soul Ring. That's what I'm thinking. In fact, there we go. Soul Ring. Though, he's now tapped out. I'm so confused. Did this game bug out? Oh, that is so sad. God, it was such a good game. I really hate the replay feature. I don't know why this game bugged out. I am so disappointed now. This was an incredibly close game. God, I can't even remember all the lines. You know, the good thing is I think I was recording live for my first game, so hopefully this this third game works out. I do think I have a live recording of our first game. I don't think I was recording for the second game. I did end up winning this one. I went and got Mana Crypt. I eventually got Soul Ring after that. I eventually got Necropotence online. I bounced all of his stuff back to his hand with a Hercule's Recall. He was really hurting for a counter spell, and I was Necro down to almost no life, and I eventually kill him with Doomsday on turn with a Labman Pile. And he says he even thought about playing a Humility, but he decided not to, and he thinks that was the wrong play. Obviously, it was when I drew Doomsday. I'm incredibly disappointed that, for whatever reason, I think maybe it was Limdal's Vault that messed the game up. I really don't know what card here MTGO had a problem with, but I'm kind of disappointed. I guess we'll get to see when I watch my live game. I guess I'll have to upload both of them. So, let's hope Game 3 works, though Game 3 I use Mind's Desire, so I would not be surprised if the game decides to bug again. So we're going to go straight to Game 3. And hopefully you'll get to see Game 1 in one of my other uploads. Really annoying, though. I finally get to play first here. He mulls down to 5, which I'm incredibly happy to see against his deck, especially when I'm opening with the Duress. He has a lot of high-impact cards, lots of mana ramp. I'm hoping to snipe that Soul Ring maybe he kept for his hand here. So we're going to go into Badlands because we need to get our Black Source. We need Vamp Tutor online. We need Duress online. And it shows us Land Tax, Thran Dynamo, Vindicate. So, against some players, I may take this Vindicate, but I know his deck well enough that I need to get rid of that Land Tax. He has a card advantage deck, and he gets a Scroll Rack or a Brainstorm or anything like that, and this could spell trouble, and I really don't want him to get blue mana. If you notice here, his hand does not have any blue mana, so that's an easy Land Tax grab there. He is going to open with a tapped Godless Shrine. I am going to Vamp Tutor here and get a Soul Ring to go with my Voltaic Key. And not only has he topped his blue source, but he topped a copy artifact, so he gets to copy my Soul Ring. So he is right back in this game. I get a Grim Monolith here. At this point, this hand is really not winning. Against his deck, I consider this losing. I have to really gamble here. And I really hope I lose the LED or the Grim Monolith, and I'm really hoping I lose Grim Monolith. I'm going to grab the card I just added to my deck here in Factor Fiction, which, by the way, has been way better than Dig Through Time. So we're going to use our Voltaic Key here to Factor Fiction. He is going to take his time splitting here, and he puts... He thinks about it for a while, and he ends up putting both the mana sources in one pile, which is probably the best way he could have piled this, especially not seeing my hand. I have to take the mana sources. I'm going to lose both those tutors and that Thoughtseize. There's no other way around it. But with this, we've unlocked our Future Sight. There's no way he could have known that I unlocked our Future Sight. I think that's probably the best way to split it from his position, without a doubt. It was a pretty good split. And he vindicates my Soul Ring. That's about what I thought he was going to do. So, we're going to go into Dimir Signet, and we're still looking for a way to get our Future Sight online. We know he's got a Thran Dynamo, so his hand, the odds of him having the counter spell are kind of low. I'm going to remand just because I need the cantrip, and to slow him down a little bit, we hit a Time Twister, which is wonderful, considering we don't think his hand has counters right now, and he doesn't really have a way to craft. Bam, Sunken Runes, just what we needed. And the extra cantrip from Remand was great because it lets us continue to play lands and continue to get ahead before he comes back. So we are going to just drop our Future Sight right now. Mind Over Matter on top, not exactly what we're looking for here, but not horrible either. He's going to probably play his Thran Dynamo. Now he has 2 unknown cards in his hand, and one of them is a land. And he plays a Loro. Well, I'm thinking that means for sure there's no counter. I don't know what that card is exactly. He's played every card that I saw in his hand. But the good news is, Probe on top. Let's take a peek. Dark Tutelage. Storm 1. Underground Sea off the top. Another good pull. We're going to LED, and we're going to wheel, cracking our LED for blue. And we hit Brainstorm, Frantic Search, Mind's Desire, Grape Shot, Counterspell, Probe on top, not bad at all. We get to see his new hand. Still no counter spells for Nathaniel here. This is very, very strange. And I think Felwar Stone, in fact, was one of the cards he added for the counter spell. And I guess this is maybe the game with humility. Or another game he has humility here. Our storm is still going up. We hit Merchant Scroll, which is really good. Take a guess what that's going to get. Yep, High Tide. We want to kill him now. We don't want to give him any chance to get another turn here. And as you can see, untapping with our High Tide, just ramping that Mind's Desire up the chain. We get a Dark Ritual off the top here from our Ponder. More mana to spend. More free spells off Mind's Desire, so we're going to brainstorm it out. Nothing great there. There's actually I probably should have put Factor Fiction back in before I Mind's Desired over a land, but it's not that big of a deal. And as you see here, Mind's Desire for a bunch of cards. And I'm actually going to, because I'm short on mana drain this original Mind's Desire here, this last Mind's Desire on the stack, to get 6 mana on my second main phase to continue going off. We're going to drop my mana accelerators here. We're still light on colored mana to go off. But our graveyard is massively huge. We're going to pass the second main phase, get our 6 colored. That way we're going to be able to use the Voltaic Key to tap that Mox Diamond 2 times, which we will need to. At this point, we're just ramping up Storm. We already know what his hand is. And we're going to go Yawgmoth's Will to end the game. It looks like this game didn't bug out, which is weird. I thought Mind's Desire was one of the cards that does bug games out here, but as you can see, my graveyard is good game. There, he has no chance here. I get to untap with High Tide. I've got the black from Dark Ritual. I have a Demonic Tutor to go find my Tendrils. And I think he scoops here any minute. I don't think he waits for the Tendrils. Yes, he does. Now, what I'm going to do here is kind of strange. I'm going to actually open up the live game I had so I can kind of condense these videos. I think it is this one, perhaps? Let's take a look. No. This one, perhaps. Yes. This is the game that we saw that bugged. So now we're going to get to kind of jump ahead a little bit. He tries to strip mine. So this is game 2, by the way. This is actually the best game in my opinion. At least it was the most fun to play. And we're going to use our Limdol's Vault. And in this game, you're going to see the real cards I'm looking for. And there's my Mana Crypt here with the Demonic Tutor, Mystical Tutor, Doomsday, and Time Spiral. Nice stack of cards there. And I think we're going to put the Demonic Tutor underneath the Mana Crypt so we can grab it with Night's Whisper, and that's about the only relevant spell we've got there. Just in case a counter spell, I don't know what I take. I'm not really sure what I put underneath there. I don't even think I thought about it too much. Let's go back here. So he plays the Trinket Mage into Soul Ring. We're going to Dark Ritual up, and then we're going to Night's Whisper, I think. There we go. Demonic Tutor is going to grab us our Soul Ring, just to get us even more mana. Defend against Winter Orb a little better. His deck really locks me down with that card. It's an absolute monster for me. And then we're going to wheel out here. He does not have colored mana open. And we hit Hurkyl's Recall, Brainstorm, Chain of Vapor, Grape Shot, and Everflowing Chalice with 2 islands. Not exactly what I wanted to see, but I'm feeling good in this position against him. The Hurkyl's Recall is really strong against his deck. So Hurkyl's Recall is something I was very glad to see. I think he follows up with copying his gem with no lands in play, which is really strong. No, he follows it with Felwar Stone. Yeah, then he copies the gem. As you can see, he's just got a wall of artifact mana. Goes into Mind Stone. And right now I'm thinking if he doesn't have a counter and I get the Hurkyl's off, I've got a decent chance here. I Brainstorm first, and I see Necropotence. And I'm going to have my triple black with his fetch. So that's quite a strong main phase Brainstorm here. I think I was looking for a counter spell to try to make sure I can force this Hurkyl's through, and that's why I main phase the Brainstorm. But he, in fact, doesn't have the counter, and yet again, these were both the 2 cards that would have been counter spells into his deck. So he did, in fact, make his deck much weaker to combo here. So we're going to go ahead and bounce all of his artifacts back to his hand. Huge tempo play. And if that wasn't bad enough, I'm going to Grape Shot his Dark Confidant and Trinket Mage off the board here. He's going to pop Mind Stone. I'm guessing that means he's got a blue card in his hand, and he's just digging for that Force of Will, because this would be back-breaking if it hits. It does, in fact, land, and we are going to Grape Shot his dudes off the board here. So now he brainstorms, and he's going to drop all that artifact mana back out, get his 2 lands in play, Kalani Gem, he's going to copy the gem again, and now he's at 0 lands in play. We now are going to unload our Necropotence. Obviously the card's broken, but first I'm going to bounce his gem in the chance that he found a counterspell off of his brainstorm here. I do not want my Necropotence counterspelled, so we're going to go ahead and bounce his gem. And as you see here, he does in fact have the counterspell, and he's going to use it on this Chain of Vapor here, and it is in fact Mana Drain. So we dodged a bullet on Necropotence there. Now we're going to Necro up. I think I draw about 7 cards off this Necro. I feel like that's about right at my life. I don't want to go too low. I want to be able to activate it a couple more times. But I also want to draw enough that I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a nice hand here. So we get Frantic Search, Merchant Scroll, Doomsday, Cabal Ritual, some lands, a Limdol's Vault, and I think I pitched the Limdol's Vault. I pitched the Command Tower, so I still have a fetch. And the reason I do that is if you notice my graveyard here because of the Necro Exile, that fetch is going to turn my Cabal Ritual from a Ramps 1 to a Ramps 3, so we want to keep that fetch land. And I'm going to pitch this Limdol's Vault eventually. There we go. But we're going to pass it back to him here. And Jace the Mind Sculptor. So he's digging. He doesn't have a way to stop me yet. Fabricate. He finds it. And he thinks this Winter Orb has probably got me locked down pretty good. And he plays this Wasteland here. And I'm going to untap. And he's going to immediately, before I get any chance to do anything, Wasteland my Underground Sea. So I'm obviously going to use my Soul Ring here and the blue here to Frantic Search my other 3 lands untapped and get that much needed colored mana here. And as you can see here, with the cantrips and the Cabal Ritual, the ability to go get cantrip via Merchant Scroll, though Brainstorm is bend, and Cabal Ritual on here, we have a winning line here with Doomsday with this much mana. So, we're going to crack our fetch, get our Cabal online. We're going to pop our Merchant Scroll and go grab Gush, because we need a cantrip, and Brainstorm is bend, so we're going to go ahead and open our pile with Gush here. And we're going to pile LED, Gitaxian Probe, Yawgmoth's Will, and I think Ponder. Yeah, I can't remember why I couldn't use Brainstorm. I think it would have like milled me out or something the way I had to do it because I opened with Gush. So we're just going to Gush into LED Probe and discard our hand, and then we're going to Yawgmoth's Will, and then we're going to LED again, and we're going to Ponder to find our Lab Man, and we're going to cast our Lab Man. And then we are going to win with Probe. So that was a really good game. I hope you guys enjoy this series. He is one hell of a player. I'm sure next time he's going to get me. But I was glad to beat him today. Thanks.